What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 474th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, SBJ. With me is Greg.
Hello. I am here. I was going to play Pokemon Go with my Pokeball Plus while we were recording. Alas, my Pokeball Plus is out of battery.
Yeah, I thought about it too.
Because I had it, and I'm like, I got it here, I got right here, and I'm going to connect it, and it's like, no, I don't light up anymore because you have to charge me. So it's charging in the bathroom.
Okay. Will's here.
Will is got his Pokeball Plus going, catching shinies as we go.
With the zip tie.
Well, that's how you life
hack
hack your Pokeball Plus, yes.
Oh gosh, sounds like TikTok. Everything on TikTok's a life hack. It's
Life hack.
You just put the roll of toilet paper on the thing. That's not a life hack. It's just how you do it.
Why was the lady submerging after she put her foundation on? She submerged her face in cold water, and she's like, "Look, my makeup looks absolutely perfect 16 hours later." And I'm like, "Why would you want your makeup? Stop wearing makeup. How about that? Clean, natural beauty."
Did I ever tell you about the time that I saw this video that said you're tying your shoes wrong? And so I went to it thinking, oh, I'm tying my shoes wrong. Except they only showed the right way, which is the way I tie my shoes. And since then, I have been confused that there is another way to tie shoes out there that I've never run into.
Wait,
what?
Do you make the two loops and then wrap the loops around each other?
No.
How do you do it?
Do you do bunny ears?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You make two loops and then wrap the loops around each other.
I don't know if that's bunny ears.
Because
I think the two loops is the faster way.
Yeah. Look, I'll have to show you sometime. Anyways, it's hard to explain. But I watched this video. The video showed me the way that I tie my shoes, which means there is another way out there that I have never run into, and I know nobody who ties their shoes that way.
I know that there are two ways to tie your shoes. One is the over-under, and then like kind of wrap it around your finger that way. And then there's another way where you make two loops, and then you wrap the loops around each other, and you're done. And that's supposed to be the faster
third way. Which is supposed to be faster than that.
There are too many ways.
You know, the fastest way
shoes
is like what you millennials, Gen Zers, or whatever are doing, where you don't ever untie your shoes and you just leave them loose and pop them off your feet. And I'm like, Blister City, what is wrong? Get out of here with your Supras. Nobody wears that garbage.
Velcro.
Gotta get the shoehorn.
Shoehorn?
Yeah, then you don't have to worry about the heel
50?
being flat when you put your... Some days I feel like it. This is the premium ISE content. We'll record videos of the three of us tying shoes, hide behind a paywall. It'll be great.
Yeah, everybody's in for shoe ties.
Let's talk about some Pokemon news.
Is there some?
There, always. Never not Pokemon news.
So we haven't yet pulled the article that you're saving in your back pocket from 1999?
We don't need the backup articles yet. We're going to start off with a tweet, though. It says, "Attention trainers, tune into our YouTube channel on Wednesday, August 18th, 2021 at 6 a.m. PDT. That's 8 a.m. Central Time for people who live in the good area of the United States. For a Pokemon Presents video presenting Pokemon Diamond, Brilliant Diamond, and there's a lot of the hashtag Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Pokemon Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus. And it's supposed to be 23 minutes long, which is the longest.
28 minutes long.
I thought it was 23.
I have no clue.
I think it's 23. I could be wrong, though. It's 20-something. Regardless, it's the longest Pokemon Presents, not technically a Pokemon Direct. I don't think they use the word Pokemon Direct anymore, but I also don't think it matters. So yeah, they finally are going to give us something to talk about.
Finally.
Well, wait, that's being presumptuous. They may give us information that's not worth talking about.
They may give us absolutely nothing.
Greg's right. It's 28 minutes. So
they
so on June 17th, 2020, which is, what was that, the day before or the day? No, that was the day of Isle of Armor. That was the 10-minute and 50-second presentation which I believe showed Isle of Armor, and I think Pokemon Smile.
Yes.
And I feel like there was one more thing. And then the following week, because they were like, come back for new information for a new thing. And everyone thought it was Let's Go Johto because there was a Espeon plush behind the dude. I don't know. It was a bit of a stretch.
There's an Alolan Ninetales plush behind me, so that should be your first clue that something special's happening.
The old Sun and Moon remake's coming.
Yeah. And the Sun and
June
Moon special thing up here. And knockoff Ducklet.
So June 24th, which was the following week, was 11 minutes long. That was the first time we saw Pokemon Unite. And then February 26th, which was earlier this year, of course, that was a 20-minute and 26-second presentation. And that was the music announcement, right? And the trailers originally. And then the remember our history kind of thing. And I don't know how they wasted 20 minutes, but they did.
I mean, 20 minutes goes fast when you have nothing to talk about, as proven by
It's
the
very
show.
true.
Yeah, look at the show.
The show is proof how fast time flies.
But yeah, prior to that, they were saying Pokemon Direct, Pokemon Direct, Pokemon Direct. And then I guess June 17th, they call it Pokemon Presents. And they've been using that since. So
They just don't want crossover brand confusion with Nintendo Directs.
yeah, that's probably the alliteration, really. The Pokemon Presents.
Pokemon Presents Pokemon.
So that's exciting. I mean, we could sit here and speculate and waste time, but literally there has been nothing shown.
There's been nothing, so it's going to show us something.
Nothing we could say today would be any different than what we've been saying. So we'll just expect a long episode next week or
not. It could
or
be
not.
nothing.
I mean, it depends on how much they waste in these 28 minutes. Well, I'm sure they'll show the games finally. And
2 10-minute trailers and 8 minutes of interstitial chatting.
the one thing I will say is I'm very curious if they will use the words open world for Arceus, because they have not used those words at all.
Ooh, make a bingo card and put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because even though and obviously the rest of the world can look at that game and go, oh, that looks open world. They did not ever say that in any press release or any information dump or any LinkedIn post.
LinkedIn post? You think they're hiding details on LinkedIn? Is that the
That's
secret
the
to the
secret.
25th anniversary? It's all been on LinkedIn?
They actually called me up and they're like, Will, how do you make your Pokemons of the weeks so like intriguing and deep and like so mysterious? And I was like, well, sometimes you got to sprinkle it where people don't expect it.
Right.
LinkedIn. Try one on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn and see what you get.
LinkedIn,
Go
for
back
sure.
go back to LiveJournal. There's a whole thing on LiveJournal, I'm sure.
I'm sure there is. We haven't talked about Community Day on the show in probably over a year because Community Day is the same.
Yep.
But my Community Day was interesting. I'd be curious if your guys' day was interesting. And the reason that we're going to spend the next couple minutes here talking about Community Day is because, one, it was a repeat. And two, this was the first Community Day where, I shouldn't say the first Community Day where there's been Pokemon Go drama, but we talked about it last week. People were very upset about the distance.
Mm-hmm. And boy, did I feel it on Community Day.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't that big of a deal going out and playing for like 10 minutes the day they changed it. But when you're outside for like 5-6 hours, you're like, man, this
This is
does
terrible.
kinda suck.
This is not fun.
It reminds me of only Destiny players will know this. It reminds me of like I put 1,200 hours into like the Hunter class in Destiny. Will maybe knows what I'm talking about. And then in Destiny 2, they changed just a couple things about it, and I hated it. And it was just like 2 or 3 very minor changes, and I was like, these are all awful.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
They did that to classes in MMOs a lot, where they're like, "We're doing this," and then you play it, you're like, "No, I don't. This is bad. I don't like this."
But the thing that like shocked me is for a community day is I went to Elm Grove Village Park, one of the best places to play in Milwaukee. And I have gone there probably 20 plus times. How many community days have there been? Like 40 at this point?
Well, it's per month, so...
But
So
they
yeah,
started late.
4 years? One per month? 12? Yeah, like...
Has it been
like
4 or
40.
3 years? Well, okay.
Whatever.
We'll say between 36 and 48. Sure.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And I arrived at noon. I was an hour late.
Same.
I parked. It was a gorgeous day out. It was about
Yep.
75.
It was
Very
real nice.
Park didn't look too busy. I parked. I got out of the car, loaded up Go, evolved my Mega Pidgeot to get that normal boost.
Oh, why
And-
didn't you give me that sick tip?
I should.
I don't think I have one.
I mean, I have one. I didn't do it.
And there are probably 30 to 40 Pokestops at this park. And only 2 of them were lured up. And we're an hour into the event. Now, I know what you're saying, Steve. It was a repeat community day. We've had repeat community days before. But the thing that I was always stood out in my mind, I can't remember which community day it was, but I went to, it was in the middle of winter. It was like 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Snow everywhere. The walkways were icy. There were people out there with shorts, cheese hats, whatever else people do in Wisconsin. Every stop was lured up. Like, Wisconsin people, the cold is not going to stop.
Yeah,
them.
the cold
If it's
doesn't stop much.
if it's a good community day, the snow, it could be raining, all these it was the first time ever I was like, oh, no one's doing this community day. Now, ever since they've done 6-hour community days, I've seen it where, you know, the first 3 hours are pretty bustling, the last 3 hours are not, which is understandable. You can only do so much, and it's the same thing for 6 hours. I get it. You know, you get your 3 shinies, you maybe play for 2, 3, maybe 4 hours, you go home, you get a sandwich. But no one was playing, so I'm curious. It felt weird, but also like, oh, maybe the people are putting their money where their mouth is, and they're like, I don't want to buy lures, I don't want to buy incubators, I don't want to buy incense. I'm not going to play the game because I'm mad about this change. Or maybe, I don't know, Wisconsin just doesn't like Eevee. But I don't know how your guys' community was. Like, you went to the art park?
Yeah, we went to the art park like we always do. It was quieter than normal.
Yes, agreed.
Because normally, like, you were there for a Go Fest, so that's when it was his busiest. And usually it's about half that many people on a regular community day. And I would say there was maybe a fourth of that when we were there yesterday. Like, our group of 6 was the biggest group I saw, other than a family that had way too many kids.
Yeah.
But usually you run into
Some
people...
of those kids looked adopted, so...
Yeah, well, who knows? They still had way too many kids. There were like 400 kids. And usually every other stop, I would say, has some sort of lure on it. And there were only 3 up near this community center and 1 down at the bottom of the path, and the rest was empty other than the few that I put up. We didn't run into anybody who was really playing. Like, you'd walk past people who were on their phone playing, and that really didn't happen. It was a very quiet day. So I would say that attendance was down, because we got there at noon.
But I would just also say overall the park was emptier than usual.
Yeah, the park was really
like
empty
over by
yesterday.
I want to call it the Flaming Canoe, but that doesn't sound right.
I mean, it's a canoe fire pit, so it is a flaming
but
canoe.
normally, like, there's families having picnics there, and there was nobody having
There was
a picnic
nobody there.
But also, They were setting up for a wedding, and I wonder if, because you could see that when you were driving in, I wonder if people saw the setup for the wedding and were like, oh, I don't want to be around here when the wedding's happening, so left.
But I've been there when they've been setting it for weddings before, and that hasn't happened. It could have driven some people away, but I mean, it was on a Saturday, which is usually more busy than Sundays.
Yeah. So the other thing I might say is there weren't any good raids.
No.
And it's like one of the draws of coming out to a community day.
I thought people.
Palkia's been out for 6 weeks. How long have Palkia been out? I don't care about no Palkia.
Palkia's been out for a week.
No. I mean, when we did a raid, it was a Shellos, and I had just hatched one in the morning, and I was like, why am I wasting my raid pass on this slimy sluggo?
Because we got it right back afterwards, and we had to complete a raid for a quest.
Also, Greg didn't buy the Community Day special research.
I
He didn't
don't know
spend
why.
the 99 cents shouting that out, calling him out on that.
Okay, both you and Alex were like, I'll give you the 99 cents. And I'm like, I just don't want to deal with the special research today. I don't want to do it. I don't care. I don't want more Eevees. I am happy where I am. It's not a money thing. I have the money.
Well,
I just didn't want to do it.
And that's also a big criteria, too, because I was looking at it, and I was like, the last time we had the 2-day Eevee Day, I got like 17 shiny Eevees. How many more shiny Eevees do I need? But what everybody who didn't show up did miss were some really good hamburgers.
Oh,
Man, those were
yeah.
some good hamburgers.
Yeah, we did. I like that place. It's very yummy. We had a very good lunch.
Full disclosure, Niantic did pay for my 99-cent ticket.
So give that to me.
I used it. I did
Well,
it.
I
You
would
didn't
use
wanna
it.
have
You're
to
more
do
likely
the
to pay
blah,
money
blah,
than I
extra
am.
research work, blah, blah.
I don't.
I would
know.
do it for free.
I
if
would do
somebody
it for
forced
free.
it, if somebody forced it upon me and said, "Oh, we bought you this ticket and here it is," I would do it. But I wasn't going to make a point of it.
I don't know if I would have bought it. I kind of forgot. And then, I was like, oh, I have this ticket in my inventory. Thanks, Niantic. I didn't expect to play as long as I played. I ended up playing for 4 hours, which is way too long for a repeat community day. But my community days because I don't play with anyone here in Wisconsin, is pretty much calling my dad or somebody else and then being on the phone and then not paying attention to the game and then just walking and talking. I like to walk and talk. Or listening to an audiobook. I got some audiobook done. So when I ended community day and I was like, wow, cool, I walked 10 miles. Oh, and I caught 20 shinies. Well, why? What am I gonna do with this? But the weather was super nice. It was a gorgeous day. That's why I was so shocked that the park was empty. But again, if this has to do with people, I'm guilty of it. I love this game. It's very hard for me to stop playing. I get it. People are mad. People don't want to play. People don't want to give money. I totally understand. I'm on your side. I have a problem. I like this video game. And so for me, walking 10 miles was it felt good physically and mentally to, get out there.
I will say of some value to both Greg and I are that we both, me sooner than Greg, got the research tasks to get to level 42, which means you have to evolve every form of Eevee again. Yes,
Again.
folks, again.
Again, it doesn't count what I did before.
And the Sylveon bonus made that much, much easier because starting the day on Saturday, I had, I think it was I had Leafeon, Umbreon, and Sylveon left that I had to do this evolve the second time. And so since I was able to use it takes less time to evolve into a Sylveon, I could get that done quickly, and then I did Umbreon that night, and now I'm level 42.
Did you need?
Nice.
Did they add Sylveon to the 42?
It said all 8 evolutions.
Because when I did 42, Sylveon wasn't even in the game yet.
Well, then they added
Sylveon
it.
counts because it counts. It counted for me because I just did it today.
Okay.
I will say
somebody was in
also
the game when I was 42, so obviously that was skipped.
yeah, we didn't play for very long. We were there for an hour and a half, and then we were all like, we're hungry, and I have 13 shinies. Let's go.
We walked 3 miles, and then it was like burger time.
Yep, and we went and got burgers.
I mean, there's only so long we can talk about trashing Steve.
Yeah.
As a group.
Well, not sitting down. Sitting down
Exactly.
brought up all of the energy to continue the conversation.
This was sent in by Casey in our Slack community. Several Johto Pokemon are added to the Chinese version of Pokemon Quest starting next month. I don't know why this is... I know why this is going around. I shouldn't say I don't know why this is going around. But I think it's not surprising to me because I've been following Pokemon Quest in China, and they've added a lot of things. There's like PvP in that game, and there's some other stuff. So the Johto Pokemon being added isn't shocking, but to shock our audience that are like, oh, the game in China isn't even developed by Game Freak. I don't know the exact deal, and I don't know if anyone knows the exact deal. I went to the Wikipedia page here and it just says developer Game Freak. I don't know who the Chinese developer is, but there was a deal between the Pokemon Company and a developer in China to make Pokemon Quest a thing there and to reach that audience, which is very big. And there has been a ton of updates, like I said, PvP, some other stuff added, like some downloadable content that has been exclusive to China for however long the game has been out. So that came out like right before Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, but I think the Chinese version started like 6 months after that. I don't know, too long didn't read. This stuff is probably never coming to America because
Probably.
Nothing prior to it has come, and I don't think this developer is not making a worldwide game. They're making a game specifically for China to fit their audience, and there's a bunch of games outside of Pokemon that have been always exclusive to China. I think there's like a exclusive Call of Duty mobile game that's China only. And there's probably, I can think of 2 MOBAs off the top of my head that are exclusive to China, but I am sure there are way more than that.
yeah,
There's
sure.
a lot more, I'm sure.
So it's cool. I don't know. I feel like it would have been the same point I made for Pokemon Snap is, all these people asked for DLC. The DLC came. Where were these people when it arrived? Greg didn't even play it.
Okay. Once people get a thing, they generally don't go on social media to say, hey, I got this thing. They generally just go and play it.
No, that's not true. Look at these Smash players. They gotta rave at the top of the world anytime Waluigi is added to the game.
Yeah, when it's added, do you hear it when Waluigi hits the actual game? Do you see a bunch of people posting all the things about Waluigi? No. They're satisfied and they go sit in their room and play the game.
Maybe I follow too many Smash people.
You follow too many Smash Brothers. I also told you up front that I was just going to watch you play the game and not play it because Rosalia was not added. That I was going to sit down and get as much enjoyment of watching you stress out about the things as me stressing out about the things. I was
Sit down
very
and watch
upfront
you
about
while
that.
he's playing Final Fantasy XIV is what's happening.
Well, that is true.
Wait for those
that's what I did.
cues.
Y'all, the grind is killing me.
I don't know. Maybe on Wednesday they say, "Hey, we're bringing
We're bringing back Quest.
Quest. We're working on a brand new Arceus game, but hey, we put 5 people on."
What you'll probably find out is that they set a financial target for Quest, and it was like it has to make this much money for us to do expansions, and it made that much money in China, but it didn't make that much money anywhere else. So they're like, you know what, China, you win the sweepstakes. Everybody else, go scratch.
Too bad. You lose because you snoozed.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, making stuff takes time. They're making Arceus. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Control-C, Control-V takes no time.
Oh, right. Control-C.
Very well. Command on the Apple computer.
Oh, Command.
I don't know.
Oh, I forget. It's Apple. They're probably using graphic designs on Macs, so.
Somebody has to sit and make all these cubed Johto Pokemon.
Look, just pull it out of the Minecraft servers that were illegally created. That's all they had to do. Yank them out of there. They're already cubed.
Yeah, just steal the fan-made cubes and then sue them for when they yell. Yeah, it all makes sense.
It all works out.
You know, I like Pokemon Quest a lot. I don't know if... I feel like I would say I would go back to Pokemon Quest if it had DLC. And I'm just speaking for myself, but the Pokemon Snap thing came out and I played it for 4 hours and I enjoyed it and I didn't finish it. Again, I'm missing like 6 of the 20 Pokemon. But I don't know if there's a word for it, but I felt like that ship sailed. Like, so much time passed, it was very hard to get back into it. That's how I feel with Final Fantasy right now. That's why I'm like on the fence of resubscribing. And Snap has a low barrier of entry. Final Fantasy is like, oh boy.
This is the problem with getting older. There's 2 factors that as we get older impact our ability to play games. Number 1, when we were younger, games were way too expensive and not coming out that frequently. So when you got a game, you played the heck out of it. You played
did.
At top, bottom, left, right, all the way through. Now it's like we get a good game every 2 to 3 weeks. Something that's really worth playing. Except those games also still kind of pricey, except we have more money. So we can throw that money away.
Well,
Heck, I'll spend $60 in Overwatch, play it for 5 minutes, realize I hate it, never play it again. Sure.
Well, it is like a psychology thing, right? Like, Unite does this with bot matches.
I don't even.
We'll talk. We'll end the conversation here. But there is I don't know if people notice this right away, but if you are in not great expert, if you're in expert rank and you lose 3 times in a row, you are guaranteed a bot match, which means that if you go into a match, you're going to see what you normally see, whether you're solo or with a group. And then there's 2 ways to tell. Before the match starts, when all 10 Pokemon are queued up, if you tap on the opponents, they'll have this blurry zoomed in face and they'll all have that face. And it's impossible to recreate on your trainer card. And then once the match starts, you'll probably just destroy them because they're bots.
Well, have you gotten the thing where you are the only player and everything else is a bot? Because you don't destroy them at that point if you did not realize it was a bot match and pick something that can actually do really good scoring. So in the choice pick, so if you, well, I always can tell like I should be on a bot match when I'm picking my Pokemon. I'll pick Eldegoss like I always do, and then suddenly everybody picks theirs, and then I'll go switch to Gardevoir, and then they'll all rearrange.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is 100% an all bot match, and I'm going Gardevoir because I need something that can do a lot of damage and score so that I could at least win this game with a bunch of bots who are programmed to do the exact same thing. So all they do is run away from each other. And it's just me running around trying to take care of everything.
And then when the match is over, you can good job your team, but you can always good job the enemy team if you want. And in a bot match, you cannot good job bots. Now, they, like I said,
Correct.
They do look like humans. So my assumption is they take 2 human teams and then they grab the names and then they split them off, where they're fighting a bot version of you and you're fighting a bot version of them.
How dare they?
But
I do not approve the use of my likeness for these robot wars.
But I think going back to like Snap and Quest and how I feel like it's been so long where they add DLC and it's just like, hey, you like that ship has sailed. Like it's so hard to get back. I'm sure for some people listening, they'll be like, oh, I've eat up Pokemon Quest DLC. Like I'm sure you will. But I don't know what the psychology is, but in Unite, it feels like, and I don't know if other MOBAs do this, but like, oh, if our player keeps losing, they're going to walk away from the game unhappy, and then they're less likely to come back, versus if we serve them a match where they're almost guaranteed to win, and they win, they may continue playing, or they end on a win, whereas the next day they're going to come back and be like, well, I stomped that last team, so maybe today will be a good day.
It's the old white men can't jump. That's what it is.
So easy to tell that it's a bot match.
I feel like once it's pointed out to you, yes, but I have to like point this out to people every single day, and it's funny because
I never would have realized.
The first
I don't pay that much attention.
Week of the game, I remember people posting on Twitter these like landslide victories, and it's like, I guarantee you that was a bot match.
I mean,
now I know in Ultra and Master there are no bots, but in Veteran, which is after Expert, if you lose 5 matches in a row, you are forced a bot match. And to be fair, like it does prevent you from ranking down, so it's kind of nice. I personally don't think it feels
depends
good.
on where it hits, because I have ranked down and gotten a bot match. After I've ranked down, it's like too late. I've already ranked down, so this is getting me nothing. Also, I will say that not all of those screenshots are bot matches, because I have been stuck with an all-human team and have just watched them get steamrolled and watched them do nothing but sit. Well, some of them just sit and they're throwing the game, and I'm like, you are throwing this game. I know you're throwing this game.
Yeah. It's easy to get a landslide when
it's going to be a landslide because you've just thrown the game, and I am immediately reporting you the minute we get done, and I do. I will tell this secret. I've run out of block spots. I have reached the maximum amount of people I can block.
What?
I didn't even know you could block people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right on another good job.
Yep.
And like above the report.
I don't know, and I can't see everybody who I blocked, so I don't know how many that was. But I was on a blocking spree for a while where I'm like, no, you literally sat there. I never want to play with you again. You threw this match.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with you ever again. I don't want to be put in the situation. I don't know why.
Ooh, okay. So now number 2 rule of what will make Will Anderson not like a game. Number 1 was, if I have to do homework, no. Number 2, if I have to prune my own garden for a good play experience, I'm out. No, thank you.
I mean, like, I have probably blocked like 10 or 12 people, but they were people. It wasn't like, oh, like everyone has a bad match. You know, there's been matches where it's like, I was the worst. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw. I didn't mean to like keep walking in and dying. But if there's a person who is just sitting in base after 2 minutes and just giving up, I never want to play with that person again. Like, there's just too many times in Unite where you are losing for 8 minutes. Yeah. And your team finally clicks and you get it together and you get Zapdos and you start defending and you win. There's just way too many times for that. So if somebody 2 minutes in thinks the match is completely over, I don't even know if they know Zapdos is in the game. Like, have you gotten that far in the match? Like,
well, what's also frustrating is if they had just disconnected, the game will take over for that. They'll realize they're disconnected and will run that one that was chosen as a bot. These are people who are deliberately not disconnecting. They are just staying in the game, moving around every so often so that the game thinks, oh, they're still connected, and throwing the game. And it is so aggravating, and I've run into them so many times, which is why I'm at my max block.
Yeah, I haven't had... I probably almost all my blocks are probably the first week or two of the game. This last week, I haven't blocked anyone. I think I've only reported one idol. Anyways, it's just like a psychology thing, I think.
I also think like investment in a game will state how quickly you come back if there's a DLC, right? Like people who are very invested into Quest, who really, really like Quest, like they are people in Slack who are very into the game. The DLC, they really, really love that game. They were invested in the game and they're just waiting for a reason to go back. Your investment and how much it clicked with you, like I barely played any Quest. I didn't find it all that enjoyable. And there's literally nothing that's going to probably ever bring me back to that game because I just didn't enjoy it. And there's other games that you can be heavily invested in that once you're done and you sort of reflect on it and you think, actually, I wasn't really having that much fun. I was just excited that it was new. I wasn't enjoying myself that much. Also will stop you from going back. Like, there are a lot of people who are very excited about Quest coming out and played a lot of it, but ultimately looking back at it, it's like, well, did I enjoy the gameplay that much? Would new characters make me want to play that game again? And honestly, sometimes the answer is no. There's a million reasons as to why you stick with and why you leave a game. A lot of them are just, there are other things, and if something catches your interest more and gives you a similar experience, I'd rather play that than go back to this.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we got some Masters news.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of exciting Masters news, but we got some Masters news and we got some other stuff, so we will be right back.
Hey, what do you guys think about pumpkin spice? Pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice frosted flakes. Pumpkin spice mini wheat. Pumpkin spice frosted flakes. Pumpkin spice Pop-Tarts. Pumpkin spice Coke. Get ready for pumpkin spice Dr. Pepper. Nice. Pumpkin spice frosted flakes. Pumpkin spice. We got the peppermint mocha.
And we are back from our break. It's almost here, Greg. The 2-year anniversary of Pokemon Masters.
Yeah, and they released the best pair beforehand, and I got the best pair, and I never need to play that game again. You can go to my Instagram to see the butt cape. It is truly a magical
I thought you were talking about
item.
Sydney and Absol. The best.
No. Sygna Suit Leon in his side-cut cutie outfit, in his butt cape, and his pulled-back ponytail hair.
I had the best commentary on that. Of course, cannot be repeated.
You cannot say these things because this is a good show, and you are a bad person.
Correct.
Full disclosure, I have a partnership with DNA. This is of Pokemon.com. Hop and Zamazenta and Sygna Suit Leon and Eternatus are in Pokemon Masters EX. From August 11th through September 15th, the new Pokemon Masters EX Legendary event, Howling Shield of Eternity, brings reports of a mysterious meteor landing on the island, along with the potential of the sighting of Eternatus. Playing through this event will award you gems, 3-star move, support move candy, 4-star strike move candy, and a new sync pair of Hop and Zamazenta. Their Hop is free. You just have to play
Yeah, you just have to play the game.
As you play through the story of Howling Shield of Eternity, you will see Hop, Gloria, and Leon team up with new friends to aid Eternatus. Solving the mystery of the legendary Pokemon's arrival may uncover the secrets of the Dynamax phenomenon on Pasio. The event also debuts Sygna Suit Leon and Eternatus in Sync Pair Scouts. I think it's a Fair Scout, right? 10%?
Yep.
They are currently the only Sync Pair capable of Dynamaxing, which they can do once per battle. Did they talk about the other Leon being able to Dynamax Is that a
No.
different press release? Because
Nope.
that's going to happen, right? Like, there's no way his Charizard doesn't Dynamax.
Yeah, I'm not overly thrilled at how Dynamaxing has been put in the game. It's just weird.
Is it just not a sync? I haven't. Well, I don't have
I
the
thought
new.
Eternatus couldn't Dynamax.
So the story explains the change.
Oh.
But it doesn't actually change forms. At least Eternatus doesn't. And it is a Dynamax move that you can click once whenever you want. You can use it whenever you want. It's not a sync move. It's not a timed thing. It's there from the beginning. So if you want to Dynamax at the opener, you can do it. But you can only ever do it once. It is fundamentally no different than a sync pair move, except it's not on a timer. And once you've used it, it won't come back up again.
Screenshot here, it shows the hand version of Eternatus,
Yes. So
which is the Dynamax form.
that's the animation for the move.
Okay.
And when you go back to the screen, Eternatus looks the
I
same.
see what you're saying.
It
It's
doesn't
not like so.
not-
If you haven't played Masters, when you can Mega Evolve in Masters, in case anyone didn't, like, they still support Megas in other games. It's like it didn't disappear when. I feel like there's this audience of Pokemon players that once Sword and Shield came out, they thought like Megas completely got vanished. No,
Yeah,
they exist in
they
other
exist
games.
in other games.
They're in Pokemon Go. They're in Masters. So when you use a sync move in Masters on like Steven's Metagross, it will Mega Evolve into Mega Metagross,
Yep.
and it will look like Mega Metagross, and it will have different moves once. It might change like 2 moves, but it will have different moves as a Mega. But what you're saying is Eternatus Dynamaxes for the turn, and then after the animation is over, it goes back to normal.
It's back to normal. I'm going to verify it again in case I missed something, but I don't ever remember it staying the hand for the rest of the battle. Let me go into something quick. We'll go there. We'll go there. We'll hit ready. And I will, because I usually just finish the game with it, but I will start the game by doing the Dynamax. Dynamax. Ugh, come on.
I'm trying to see if they mention anything about Charizard or Dreadnought in this press release. I would just assume that's.
I mean, they
if
say
didn't.
other ones will, but they don't say.
Well, I mean, like, come on. It's kind of obvious which ones are going to and which ones are
Right.
not going to.
Yeah, so I get the hand animation. See, there's the hand.
Oh, I see the hand.
It does its big beam. It blows everything up. And then when I go back to the screen, you can see it. It is
Oh, it's
still
regular. I see.
regular, plain old regular. Which is kind of a bummer. Like, Megas are more exciting. And I don't know. I expected it to at least like change form for 3 countdowns or something, but it is literally just a off clock one-time sync move. And that's very powerful, but so are all the sync moves. It feels implemented a little
Well,
disappointingly.
maybe it's just Eternatus. Maybe Charizard will be like 3.
It could be. I mean, this is the only example that we have, and I mean, even though it does do the hand form, that would be. It doesn't stay big and cloudy. It just goes right back to normal, and I don't know how they're going to implement it for the other ones. And maybe they will take on their other form for 3 countdowns. Who knows? But right now, I'm not. Apart from the fact that Leon looks amazing, I have not been too impressed by the addition of Dynamax.
His outfit's real good.
It's so good. I'm trying to get a number of cosplayers I know to create the outfit. Do it.
There is a 5-star select special scout coming soon, which features Bee and Nessa. And then up for the run-up to the 2-year rally, you can get up to 2,600 gems just by logging in.
I'm so curious who's going to be in the 2-year anniversary.
champion have they?
Are they going to change the name of the game again
Maybe.
for the 2-year anniversary?
Let's never forget that their
Pokemon
hashtag
Pokemon Masters Triple X. Because
didn't
it's going into the 3rd year.
work for. I mean, maybe it did work, honestly, because
It worked
that
really
was
well.
that was the talk of the town that
It
day
was.
when they started using that new hashtag for Pokemon Masters EX.
Drew a lot of attention to the game. True.
There's nobody on the launch screen that isn't in the game now that I remember. They've added everybody. They've added Sygna suits of all the Kanto folk, so we're tapped out. There are professors left. We don't have Birch. We don't have Elm. We don't have Juniper.
No,
we don't have...
there's 0 people in the world being like, oh man, I'm gonna pick this game up once Professor Birch gets added.
Wait, do we have Sycamore?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
he has Xerneas.
Which is literally get Xerneas and you beat the game every time. Xerneas is so crazy powerful. Yeah, there's not very many champions that they haven't added either. Because, I mean, Alder's in the game. Cynthia's in the game. Diantha's in the game. Leon's in the game twice. Gary's in the game twice. Steven Stone's in the game. Wallace is in the game.
Well, they just added Faulkner. You know, people were dying
Faulkner
for...
and Swellow. They added Bugsy and Scyther. Yeah, I don't know who's left. People are like, "Oh, wait for the 2-year, wait for the 2-year," and I'm like, "Why? I don't know who's coming in the 2-year." And Sygna Suit Leon looks real good, and I got it first pull. But
here's the thing of gacha games is they do this all the time. They like something exciting happens and they put out something to like bait you into spending your gems before that. Like, I don't think Faulkner or Sydney were good bait, but they were obviously bait before Leon. But Leon is bait for something.
Leon, to say Leon is bait is to do a disservice of how incredible Leon looks in that outfit.
But
that is not bait.
No, he looks great. He looks
And
fantastic.
That is,
he has
a great,
Eternatus.
and
But-
Eternatus is a great partner. It is a good attacker. Like if you
That just means something even better is
that's what I'm
coming.
saying.
Yeah, but
Will
what could
knows.
it be? What could
I don't
it
know.
be? What's
But
left?
he's bait. He's
Trigma
definitely
Suit Leon, where he loses the cape.
Oh, okay.
He's definitely.
If Leon loses the cape, I'm putting money into the game.
Look, their whole goal with this mobile game is to make money.
Right.
Their 2-year anniversary, like there has to be something better than Leon, which is
What?
hard to top.
What is better to beat than super hot Leon and his side?
Maybe possibly like Sygna Suit Ramos. You know, people are really.
I mean, if they do a good Ramos, I could be there. Look,
like Ramos and like
I
a
am
victory.
just saying,
Ramos and Go-Goat. You never know.
if this is bait, this feels like the best bait they've ever done because it is 100% worth it to have this guy wandering around your Pokemon Center saying hi to you, and you're like, "Yeah, hi, Leon. Let's go."
Well, I mean, Leon
go
is best
battle.
champion.
Correct.
They could do a Sygna Suit Diantha. There you go.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm into that too.
See, that's bait. Or that's not bait. That's like...
But no, I still don't think that that's better than Sygna Suit Leon and how amazing that outfit is. I mean, the weird thing is they've been adding weird pairs to the BP system. Like, we got the Rose Champion and Entei in there, and I'm like, what? Why is she in here? Where did this come from? Although the BP system is really good.
Yeah, I don't know what they will do for 2-year. Besides, the thing I feel like I do know is they're like, okay, Dreadnought, Charizard, what's the other one that was added? Like these could now Dynamax. I'm sure that they're doing that.
I mean, I would imagine that the only thing I can think of is there might be some sort of G-Max Pikachu. But would it be, I feel like that's an event to get that to be your pair like they did with Solgaleo and what other one they did that with, where you fight through the thing and then at the end you can partner with this special Pikachu that can Gigantamax.
Even if they, I don't know, even if they release like Opal or Milo, like that's, I know you like Milo, but that's not nearly as exciting as Leon. Like champions are always more exciting than the gym leaders for them, for most people.
I mean, for most people. I mean, I would spend. I won't spend money on Milo. I will spend all my coins on Milo, and then when I don't get it, I'll be mad and stop playing the game for 3 weeks. But I'm literally just like, people are like, oh, the 2 years could be super, super great, and I'm still struggling to figure out how they top.
The 2 year was pretty good. We got Sygna Suit Leaf and Red.
That was
and Blue.
the 1 year. I'm saying what
sorry.
What tops this Leon? Nothing.
If they were so confident to put out this Leon, and for like if you have not played Masters, if you've made it through this segment, you need go look at pictures of this Leon.
Go to my Twitter. You'll see the front and the back of this amazing, super great Leon. Go to my Instagram. You'll see the front and back of this super great Leon.
Here it is. Leon is the bait.
Because
Mirabee and Ludicolo come into the game.
Mirabee and Ludicolo, I would also spend money on that. Yeah, Mirabee, I'm in. I would also waste all my coins on Mirabee. Oh, man. Mirabee had better come soon, or this game is a ripoff.
Yeah, Guzma's in it. Cyrus.
Lucamine's in it. Cyrus is in it. Giovanna's in it.
Marnie
Giovanna? Is that the female leader of Team Rocket?
Giovanna. Archie and Maxie are in it.
Yeah. I mean, they could probably bring this back.
is in it.
They haven't added a Courtney, technically.
They could do a Sygna Suit N.
Yeah. I think Sygna Suit Diantha would go more than N would. I don't know. People like N.
A lot of people like
really
N.
like people like Diantha though.
I love Diantha, so I use Diantha whenever I can. Like Kukui is in there, Olivia's in there. Like there's
Colress.
a ton.
They haven't done Colress yet.
Done Colress, but nobody's pulling for Colress. Let's be real.
Well, I mean,
Getsus
more people
already
are going
has
to pull for
Kirim.
Colress than Faulkner.
Or Cindy. Cindy was an ad that I was not expecting at all because I had forgotten that Sydney existed.
Yeah.
Like, what is Sydney even from? I even forget what game Sydney's from.
Is he not from Hoenn? Is he not E4 Hoenn?
Oh, he is E4 Hoenn. God, I forget he exists every time.
The Hoenn Elite Four is not great.
There are a lot of forgettable until you get up to Steven Stone and Wallace.
Well,
Okay, I take that back. Phoebe is amazing. Drake is forgettable. Who's the ice person?
Glacia.
Oh, Glacia. She's already in the game.
And forgettable.
Yeah, I forget her all the time. She's no can to ice.
She's no canned ice.
Who is missing? Juan is missing.
Okay, again, I think
Watson
Juan
is missing.
falls into the Faulkner department.
Is there any champion? No, I think that's
No,
it.
they've done all the champions.
I literally cannot figure out who this incredible Leon would possibly be bait for. Like, how are you going to exceed what you just did for the 2 year? And I don't think they can.
I mean, they could do another red with a Gigantamax Pikachu.
Yeah, but I feel like that is weird since you have your own Pikachu and that's how you start the game. I think it's weird to give a Gigantamax Pikachu not to your character who's had Pikachu the entire time.
They could do. I'd like a Jesse and James with Gigantamax Meowth.
They could do that. I mean,
happened in the anime, technically.
Yeah. I mean, Jesse and James are thinking, but who would they give it to, Jesse or James, or would they do it both?
They could do both. I mean, what does it matter?
Weird. But sure.
Yeah. Do we? I know Unite is still on the mind. Before we move to like question of the week, Pokemon of the week, do we have anything on Unite?
I mean, I'm super frustrated by the play to win aspect of it.
I haven't hit
pay
this
to
wall.
win or play to win? Because play to win seems appropriate.
Pay to win
is
pay to win. The
what
pay to win wall
we
is
knew
real.
that was coming. So
It is a hard wall that if you do not want to level your stuff past 20, you have a rough road.
20?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the secret. Stop playing ranked and just play unranked free-for-alls
Yeah.
and have some
This
fun.
is the Clash Royale problem.
I mean, I did do. I tried to go into unranked free for all, and the amount of people that just had no idea what they were doing was more frustrating than playing ranked, where I lose all the time because I can't move out of my bracket because
I think
the way it pulls people to play is tough because you are at a point where people, if it's pulling from expert or lower, they can't move past 20 in their items until they hit veteran, and when it opens up to level it to 30. And if you're playing above that, everybody has leveled way beyond and their stats are so
I don't
hard.
think you need to be a veteran. I think you just need to be an expert to go past 30.
Or whenever it happens.
Yeah.
But like it is a hard wall to hit, and it is a frustrating wall, especially since if you leveled up a number of items and the most recent patch made a bunch of those items no longer worth the level, you can't undo those upgrades. So, like, Shell Bell was great because it did cooldown, and it made Eldegoss's heals really strong because the cooldown was a lot less. Well, now that the cooldown was extended so much, the 3% that you got doesn't make enough of a difference to keep using that item. So I had Shell Bell up to 20, and now I had to level a different item to replace it up to 20, and that is... in that process, if I didn't want to spend money, I had to earn gems playing with a subpar item either way. It is an aspect of the game that I really hope leaves very quickly. I didn't like it when it started. I really hate it now, and I think it is already becoming a problem in the game.
I think it is a problem. I'm not going to defend that it's not, but when the season is over, you're going to get so many tickets depending on where you rank. So if you're ranking veteran, I think you're getting 15,000 tickets or something.
Yeah,
which
the season ends in 48 days.
Yeah, which is
like,
enough
it's
to
a
max.
long time.
It's enough to max one item completely to 30. And I think if anyone's listening to the show, the item you max is Buddy Barrier because it is probably the most versatile item. Like, even if you're like, Buddy Barrier doesn't really work on, I don't know, it works on every Pokemon, but even if you're like, I don't think it works on Mr. Mime, it's like, well, it's not bad on Mr. Mime.
It's not.
Like, it's literally not a bad item for any
Yeah.
Pokemon. It's not the best item for every Pokemon, but it's one of the, like, that's how I think about it, is like, okay, if I'm going to upgrade items, because I think I only have 4 items at level 20. And then I have a bunch of tickets. I just refuse to spend them because I don't want to get into the situation where, you know, I put everything into Shell Bell and Shell Bell's broken or Shell Bell's not good anymore. Or so 20 has been good. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that have made it to Master Rank. They've all made it to items with it being at 20. There's like this new, I don't know, game on Twitch where a bunch of streamers made new accounts so they can be like, I'm free to play to Masters, and you know they're good players, so they end up getting to Masters anyways. I had somebody come into my chat and be like, "Oh, is this your alternative account?" Oh, buddy, I ain't got no alt account.
Nope.
I ain't got time to play this game twice. No, I'm one account. It's fine. I have no desire. I get it. It's like content. It's like a fun challenge to be like, I'm gonna play this game again, and I'm gonna do free to play, and it's like
it's the Nuzlocke of Unite, is what it is.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to make a new account. I
but
don't want to.
Also, the sort of thing behind that is you made an account after you know how to play the game, right? Like you have already on your main account know which items to upgrade. So yeah, you're free to play, but you're free to play with a ton of knowledge that you gained from your other account. So you are using what you did to target exactly the characters that you want to level, that you're good at, and you know exactly which items to level. It is not an even playing field at that point either, because you have 3 weeks of experience. You're not starting over again. You know exactly how to target your games.
Yeah.
And it's also difficult to level items, to level the 4 or 5 items that are good across multiple characters. Like, you sort of have to say, I'm going to do a subpar build on a couple of things that if I can't play the main, I'm going to do with these. It is a frustrating solo experience. I'm getting to the point where I'm like, do I really want to continue doing ranked if I'm not in a group that I can talk to, or at least I have a level of confidence that they are not going to stand in the end zone. They're not going to do XYZ. You know, they're not going to throw a match. Like, what is my path forward of Unite? And what does that look like given the sort of as more people get to the same skill level of the game, the pay aspect becomes way more prevalent.
See, I have not hit that paywall. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Like I'm as of this recording, I'm veteran 3, and the last time I haven't played in like 2 days because I've just had time off. The last time I played, I did a group of 3. It's me, 2 other people, and then 2 randoms, and we won one, we lost one, then we won 7 in a row, and then we lost one. So we ended up going like 8-2 for the night or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different experience when you can get at least 2 other people who kind of know what's going on, and you have although slightly delayed communication.
Yeah, well, in that situation, of these 8 matches, we won 8, lost 2. So in these 10 matches, we were completely stomped by another team. It was like we ended up ending the match at like level 11 or 12, and they were all level 15. And like that's a huge disadvantage in that game. Like if somebody, like if you're 0 aura versus 0 aura and you're 10 and they're 12, they're just gonna win.
Yep.
Like the level advantage in that game is very, it's not bad. It's just that's how the game is.
Yep.
And being self-aware of like, oh gosh, you know that this person's 2 to 3 levels higher than me. I just can't beat them without support. It's just part of the game, and it's fine. Like I'm not complaining about it. It's just you just got to be aware of that. And they just completely stomped us, and I want to, and like it's like, well, they were better. Like they were probably all on comms. They were probably a team, but I like look back at that situation. I was like, I have no clue how they did it. Like even in our games when we get Dreadnought both times, maybe even 3 times, I don't even like. I don't think I've ever been a game where I'm 15. Maybe 13, maybe like I'm always 12 when Zapdos appears, and if I'm not 12 when Zapdos appears, I'm playing poorly. Something happened where, like Dreadnought or not, I can be level 12 by Zapdos, and I can't help but think that was like, oh, you've paid your money, and you're a team, and that's like we got completely stomped. Like so, whatever. Whether or not they paid money, they were the better team, and I wasn't super salty about it. And it's like we won 7 in a row, and we got completely destroyed by this team. Like it's really hard to be upset. Like 7 in a row is really good at veteran. So I haven't hit that like, oh, every team is stomping us, but I do think 3 up is better than 5 up, as at least right now.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I would say 5 up is good if you have communications.
5 up, but the problem with 5 up is you're gonna get against another 5 up that has communication.
So here's the question: Do you
it's like
want
hard.
them to introduce an ability to rewatch a match.
I think they're adding that. They did like a 3-day testing.
I don't think that they can do like a full esports competitive without that, because that would give you the ability to sit and watch.
Oh yeah,
I would love to be able to see what they were doing.
How did you get to 15 so fast? Like what? Let me see your path.
I mean, the wall I hit was at Veteran 4, and I have since dropped down to Veteran 1 from 4. Like, I have just had solo queue has been real rough. Which is why I'm like, I think I need to play with people. But the hard wall I hit was in Veteran. I hit it at 4, and nothing I could do could get past it.
Yeah, I mean, going back to like the Twitch meta game of, free to play, solo only to master rank, and like lots of people have done that. I mean, these people. The thing that I like, I was kind of like jaded / bummed that. I'm a very competitive person. I play a lot of competitive games outside of stream. I always did like Trials of Osiris and Destiny. I've done VGC stuff. I've done TCG stuff. And so I was like a little bummed. I was telling Greg this. It's like, oh man, I'm seeing all these people get to master rank, and I'm not master rank yet. And like a lot of these people have like 700 games under their belt, and I'm only at like 220 or something. But the thing I forgot is, all of these people were secret League of Legends players for like 7 years. And then when I thought about it, I was like, I'm thinking about streamer friends that are all master rank. And it's like, I didn't realize that you've been playing League of Legends since like 2012. Like
100%. Absolutely true.
It's insane how you don't think about it. Well, like, some people like they live and breathe League of Legends, right? They're consistently talking about it. And then some people are like, oh, I don't. This is my guilty pleasure. I play at like 4 a.m. when no one's online. And it's a big, like, it's a reason why League of Legends is like top 3 game on Twitch all the time. Like, people love that game and hate that game.
Well, I think people also just like one thing in what you just said, people don't realize how long League has been around.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I forget that it's been around for such a long time.
I was playing in 2012, 2013. I was playing 8 years ago. And there are people who have just consistently played throughout that entire time.
And this is my first MOBA, so like it's been
baby's first MOBA.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
I mean, it's also sort of a thing where I watch master people playing the characters that I play, and I'm like, I do all these things, and like without the ability to sort of look back and see exactly what the other people were doing with what I was doing, it's hard to grow doing it by myself, which is why I think I sort of needed to get like 3 people and like, let's just play some so I can, it's also hard being support when people just leave you. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going with everybody else because I literally could do nothing by my own down here. You've all left. And you didn't signal you were leaving. I just looked and, oh, you're all up there. All right.
It also doesn't help that like the meta is still changing. Like I think we said last week, no one cared about Dreadnought when the game first came out, and everyone cared about Rotom. And now, like Dreadnought, no one cares about Rotom, and everyone cares about Dreadnought. And there's like this weird meta game with Zapdos, and it's some people still don't like Zapdos. I like Zapdos.
I'm fine with it. It is a catch-up mechanic, and it is when you sort of realize that the Dreadnought fights are the first previews of what your team fights should be. Zapdos doesn't feel that weird.
Yeah. I feel like because teams are rotating down to Dreadnought twice a match, and it doesn't feel like Zapdos is that weird versus the first 2 weeks where no one was going to Dreadnought, no one was like leaving, and then because we joked about how Greg and I would play together, and I wouldn't see Greg until the last 2 minutes of the match. So like,
stay up and up lane.
I don't know I don't know what Greg's doing. I don't know what's happening down there. I have no clue. But now that the game is like, okay, at 7 minutes, everyone is moving to Dreadnought. Maybe one person stays behind. Like, I get to see Greg more often, right? Because I'm like, oh, you're down here, you're doing things, cool. And you can evaluate the situation when you get down there. Like, did their team move down?
Yeah.
How is it a disaster down here? What why are there orbs
also,
everywhere?
It's interesting because I think players have become more aggressive because of that. And like I had to stop using Pollen Puff because Leaf Tornado, with its speeding up your allies' attacks while they're in that stream, is a better support option for me than the passive healing I would get from Pollen Puff that's on a longer cooldown. Or it's a slightly slower cooldown, but like the healing takes a while before it goes off. So as the game has progressed, players have gotten more aggressive for those team fights, and things like Pollen Puff that are more passive just aren't worth it. And I've had to switch my playstyle to say, okay, playing Goss, I need Leaf Tornado way more often because I need to be doing that damage and giving that speed advantage and attacks to my team because it is so aggressive right now.
Yeah. And the thing about Zapdos is it felt like the first week or two everyone was trying to take Zapdos.
Right.
And then the meta changed where if the game goes, you're in the lead or huge lead, then if you're the huge lead, you go, oh, we don't attack Zapdos.
We don't attack Zapdos. We keep them from getting to Zapdos.
And now what I feel the like meta is if you're huge lead and you're like, cool, let's all go to Zapdos and defend, the team goes, oh, we're just going to go to your bases because we know you're going to Zapdos.
Yeah.
And we're going to dunk. Like, there is so many things happening at Zapdos that doesn't even include Zapdos at this point.
Right. The game
I still stand by, I don't think Zapdos is a bad mechanic. I think that people just didn't understand or were like super salty. It's like, well, we were winning the entire game and then we lost Zapdos, so it sucks that we were winning for 8 minutes and we lost. And it's like, okay, you can defend, you can take, you can split your team to go to their bases and ignore Zapdos and force them to like retreat. Like there are so many options you have, and the Dreadnought battles I think really lay out what your final game plan should be, which I think makes Zapdos a stronger mechanic of like Dreadnought is mini Zapdos. Yep. And how are those battles going? How you can see how your team functions at that point. You can see how their team functions at that point. And then you could just have a match where we literally spent 8 minutes fighting Dreadnought. Like, Dreadnought showed up, and we sat down there the entire time, literally until Dreadnought despawned and Zapdos popped up, and it was like, oh, nothing got, like, what is this match right now?
Yeah, there's some wild matches. Yeah.
All in all, I it's good. I like it a lot. It's frustrating because you know it's teamwork, but I
just need to find a team to just like re-level set my enjoyment of the game, and sort of like help me deal with the sort of internal frustrations of dealing with random players.
Question of the week.
Hold on. Question of the week. What is the question of the week?
That's Mario.
What?
You need one of those little pitch pipes to like.
Oh,
go,
yeah.
Bing.
I do, but that's gonna be like a lot. I mean, I have to dig out my old one.
Oh, this is good. This is from Miles from our Patreon/Slack. What fantasy creature that currently does not have a Pokemon counterpart would you like to see added in the next gen?
Well, where is the next gen?
Yeah. I was gonna say unicorn, but we got Rapidash.
Hmm?
I'm trying to think of fantasy creatures that aren't in the game.
I know. That's kind of like we really got to stretch.
We don't really have like a mermaid.
That's the first thing that came to my
We
mind.
have
I mean, we, like-
Primarina.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
That's
Yep.
true. I was thinking of more of a humanoid mermaid, like a
I
Mr.
mean,
Mime / Jinx situation, but yeah, maybe that's
I
for
was
the
like,
better,
oh,
honestly.
we
We've
don't
left
have an
those in
imp,
the
but
back.
we got Impidimp. We
Yeah.
don't have Pegasus, but we have Tropius.
We don't have a Pegasus. That would be pretty cool.
And we
Tro-
don't
Wait,
have a-
did you say Tropius was close to a Pegasus? Excuse
Yes,
me?
it is a large, winged, flying, four-hoofed
Beast.
creature.
Yes.
I don't know.
Propius doesn't have hoofs. Dinosaurs didn't have hoofs. They had toes.
Manticore? I can see a Manticore working.
I
I
don't
think
know.
we
what
have a
that is.
Manticore. So a Manticore has a lion for a head, has wings, and then it has a scorpion tail stinger.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
eagle. It's like a lion, eagle, scorpion.
Yeah.
What about the Harry Potter dog?
Cerberus?
Cerberus?
Yeah.
A
We don't have,
three-headed
like, a-
dog.
Yeah, we don't have like a 3-headed dog.
We have Dodrio.
We have we have Hydreigon.
Oh, that's true. We do have a Hydreigon. Yeah, that's like that was like in Hercules though, right? You know, cut off a Hydra. It was like a
Yes.
Hydra. 'cause
I
you
mean,
cut
it
off
is a
and then
Hydra.
it grows more.
But they didn't do 9 heads, they only did 3.
Hmm.
What else? We have imps. We have a Kelpie, kind of.
Minotaur? Do we have a Minotaur? I mean, Tapu Bulu.
Tapu
Yeah, I
Bulu
guess
is
Bulu.
close.
But they've all been taken. There's nothing left.
My head keeps going back to like Harry Potter stuff because I'm trying to like.
Well, I mean, that's very Western. There's other cultures and mythologies out there.
Yeah, I'm uneducated.
I mean, we don't have a Chimera. Really. Lion, goat.
Basilisk. Do we have a
Do you
basilisk?
have a basilisk?
We have an Arbok. Do we
Yeah,
have
I
like a pixie?
I mean, we have Rabombi, we have Sylveon, we have Florges.
Yeah, those all fall. If anything fairy falls into the pixie realm.
We have enough dragons, so that's out. Do we have an Oni?
What?
Yes, Glalie.
Oh, yeah, we have Glalie.
Dag, we just like we know too much that we can't even like trick ourselves.
I'm trying to think of things in Hercules. I mean, there's like that pig man thing, like
Man, bear, pig. That's
in
not Hercules.
He's like writing stuff. He has like hooves. He's a little shorter, a little rounder. I don't know. Sound like Danny DeVito.
Oh,
Oh.
a satyr?
Oh, is that what it's? I don't know. What
Yes.
That's a creature, right?
Oof.
Yes, I mean, satyrs are creatures.
Is he a pig? I don't know what he is.
He's not a pig,
Goat.
it's a goat.
Oh, he's a goat. Okay.
Ooh, that hurts. That hurts.
I like how you knew it. We got there together, though. We eventually got there.
When I realized you were referencing Hercules, the Disney movie,
Yeah.
because you're like a man in Hercules. I was first thinking Hercules, the TV series. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you've never seen that, and also
Ooh.
you don't like Disney. So I was like, which Hercules are you pulling from?
We got. What about Xena, warrior princess?
Yeah,
She's both
yeah.
a warrior and,
a
a princess.
She should just be in the
Man,
game.
I spent so much of the '90s saying exactly that sentence because I was a
Yeah.
huge Xena fan.
I was a huge Xena fan. There isn't really a two-legged goat man in the game. Oh, goat
Yeah.
Pokemon, not really. But
Yeah,
that was,
There we go.
But
I
it's like
mean-
the humanoid ones we kind of want to avoid.
I mean,
Like-
Grumpig ain't doing anyone favors.
no.
What's the horse with the eagle head?
A Griffin.
Griffin. Could do a griffin.
Yeah, we could do a Griffin. I could do it for a Griffin.
We did Quetzalcoatl. We got that already.
That's it. I'm sticking with Manticore.
Okay, I'm sticking with Pigman Goat.
A satyr.
Bearman Pig.
Bearman Pig.
This is from our YouTube. If you would like to ask a question, you can leave a comment in our YouTube on the newest episode, and then we will try to get to it. This is from Void of Sin. Also, I don't know, hit the like button and the subscribe.
Hit the like and subscribe. Subscribe and like.
I don't know if we're doing it, but what is your ideal for Gen 9? I would love a new Pokedex like Gen 5 had. It was super exciting to play for the first time. You never know what you're going to find next.
Well, people certainly hate that.
Yeah.
So
I
no.
mean, so what do I want from
I feel like
Gen
that would be
9?
a good Gen 10 thing. Like
Yeah.
every 5 years, you do a fresh Pokedex and force people to...
I mean, I would like Gen 9 to be set in either Brazil or Australia.
Yeah.
I was going to say Egypt.
No.
Egypt, I feel like Egypt is a good 10 because it's got a lot of Mediterranean, and you can pull on Kalos and you can pull on other things, and like there's a lot around that area, so that feels like a 10 thing to me.
Yeah.
I feel like an isolated island like Australia where nobody knows what's happening there. It's like a giant mystery, and most of that land is trying to kill you. Makes a
Yes.
great,
Very dangerous Pokemon.
very dangerous Pokemon. Like, you cannot... There were sharks in the flooded streets at one point. Every spider is deadly. Every person is potentially deadly. It is a wild frontier, and is a good for Gen 9.
So, when I was at the grocery store today, I obviously was trying to catch shiny Eevees, so I had my Pokeball Plus attached to my belt, and I literally had this thought. I was like, they should make a Pokemon game where the Pokemon trainers are more like Pokemon players in today's day and age in the real world, where it's like they're not the most popular people. Right? Maybe they're slightly looked down on by society, and you have to prove your worth, and like, you know, prove how cool you are because you're a Pokemon trainer. It's not just like, oh, you train Pokemon, you're a great, cool dude. We live in a society where being a Pokemon trainer is not so cool, and then you have to like work around that as part of the story.
I mean, I could also see them going back to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like...
Actually, with
Not-
the given market, they need to go to China.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more money there than anywhere else. But also, like, you know, Unova was just New York and the surrounding areas. Like, it wasn't all the United States. Alola was just
That
Hawaii.
huge desert in the middle of New York. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, Kalos was just technically France. Like, it wasn't... So, sorry, Paris. It wasn't, like, all of France.
Right.
Well, I guess maybe... So,
Well, I mean, there are a bunch of things. Like, the palace is clearly a nod to Versailles. Like, there's a bunch around Paris and the surrounding regions. Like,
yeah. So,
I mean,
I like,
obviously we didn't go
like
to
as
the
much
south
as I
of
would like
France.
Australia, would they do all of Australia, or would they do, like, one coast?
Oh, cut off Perth, dude.
Like,
just nobody
there
has any.
It's just the stretch between Sydney and Melbourne, the only two areas that people actually live in.
Now all of our Brisbane listeners have just dropped.
Because nobody lives in Perth. Everybody who has sent emails saying I'm from Perth has spoofed. They're spoofers. They really live.
No,
in
I mean, I believe in Perth. It's just, it's kind of like, it's kind of like Newark, New Jersey. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's there.
It's there, but why?
not
Mexico
even
would be
why.
cool,
It's
too.
like does not
What would
hit
be?
where?
Mexico?
Oh, Mexico would be cool.
Yes, but yeah, I'm just like it's not be in a video game level of cool. Show me one like huge Perthian monument where it's like, oh, worldwide record. Like, you know, you got the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
You've got Zach Perna in Melbourne.
I'm
What's
typing
Perth
into
got?
what's famous
Who's closest to the Rock?
in Perth,
Right?
Australia?
I know you're not supposed to call it Ayers Rock anymore, but it's is that close to Perth, or where is that?
Apparently,
close to?
there's a zoo in Perth.
I mean, there's a zoo outside my window most days. That frogs, man.
Well, Pokemon of the Week.
All right, last week's Pokemon, the key references were that you couldn't encounter it in the old days until you had passed through Route 102. It has a split evolution. In Pokemon Unite, it only evolves into one of those because there's no Dawn Zone. And for one of its evolutions, it can be either male or female, but the other evolution is male only. But they both have, the final evolutions have megas. I thought that was enough, but I also mentioned that it has a pre-evolution. So if you were thinking of the first one, that's not it. It's the one in the middle.
It's
Munchlax.
a pre-evolution.
Munchlax.
There's nothing before a Munchlax.
It's Kirlia.
Kirlia.
How do you say that one? Get out the 3DS.
Yeah. What's the correct pronunciation for Kirlia?
It's dead. It hasn't been power for like 2 weeks. I think it's Kirlia though.
I think it's Kirlia.
Do you guys know what Kirlian photography is?
No.
Okay, so that's where you take a piece of living material and you put it on a photo plate and you do an electrical charge through the photo plate and it makes like an aura around the piece.
Yeah. Now that's familiar. Shuffle Icon is awesome, but the shiny, I am such a fan of this line anyways, and the shiny line is so good.
It's very good.
So good.
There was back in the day, our listeners probably remember Travis. They were on way too many episodes. Love them to death. They're very
How
awesome.
could they be on too many? I've been on more than them.
Well, at one point, they were on longer than anyone else besides me.
That's true.
And the Gardevoir line has always stood out to me because they always made a big deal with the fairy split at the time. Because they were upset that, their favorite psychic, I think it was just pure psychic,
It was
right?
just pure psychic.
Correct,
before.
yes.
And then it was like, well, they were not big on fairy, and then they added fairy to their Pokemon. And I get, in retrospect, like, I get it. You're changing a Pokemon that somebody really likes, but Travis ended up really liking the fairy after the fact, but it was a lot of commotion back in the day before Gen 6 where we were arguing whether fairy was good or if it was the right thing. So this line has always reminded me of them, which is...
I'm very team fairy, FYI, just so.
Oh, yeah, I love fairy. There's a little Travis throwback for our listeners that remember. I mean, like, they didn't die. They're on other podcasts.
They are on the show.
I mean,
with
they
me.
moved to Canada. They may have have died.
That's true.
You can still hear Wheels a lot on my show, so.
Kirlia shares the category with Mesprit and Indeedee. They are all known as the emotion Pokemon.
I think I also
Kirlia-
mentioned that.
Kirlia's number in the Sinnoh Pokedex Platinum only, and Elmia Bowser are the
Browser.
same. What is this? Browser?
That's the
Oh,
Ranger.
yeah, okay. The Ranger
Almia.
stuff.
Shadows
Almia.
of Almia, the Pokemon
Almia.
Ranger game. Can we please get a Pokemon Ranger game, please? Please.
Kirlia and
Maybe
its
they'll announce it on Wednesday.
Kirlia and its evolutionary relatives are the only Pokemon that are in both the Amorpheus and the human-like egg groups.
Amorphous. There's no I.
Oh, I was thinking Matrix. Irene has never seen The Matrix.
Well, good
And
for
she's
her.
better off for that.
good for her. Good life choices, Irene. Well done.
We were watching a documentary about Woodstock 99, and they brought up the...
Ooh.
That was a...
Wow. Why
It
would
was
you
a
watch
very-
a documentary about... I had to live through that.
Yeah,
was-
why?
It was a very good documentary. It was on HBO Max. It just came out like a month ago, so it's like a
No
new
Fire
documentary.
Festival.
It made Fire Festival seem like a real palace. Sometimes you don't realize how much of a mess something is until somebody lays it all out for you.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oof.
It also, that documentary also just reminded me of how lousy the late 90s, early 2000s were. It was awful.
Look, when you look back on any decade and you're like, yeah, there was a lot that was real messed up. We were just getting through it at the time. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised we did.
I think the thing that stood out to me that they said is everyone in 1999 wanted to be mad at something, but there wasn't really a reason to be mad. And I was like, you're right. There wasn't really a reason to be mad.
There was a reason to be mad. All these computer programmers had used shortcuts, and now we were going to have the Millennium Bug, and we were all going to die because of lazy computer programmers.
Wait till I tell you about the energy crisis of the 70s. It'll blow your mind.
Do you think people listening to the show, I would hope most of our listeners know what Y2K was, right?
No.
No.
No?
No.
No. I mean,
what?
So the average age of your listeners is what, like 20?
25.
So they were children.
I was a child. I was 12 years old. I remember.
There's
No.
a difference between 4 and 12. Okay?
You were almost a teenager. They were children, like young children who didn't have to deal with it at all.
I mean, it was very uneventful. Like
it was also incredibly uneventful. It was a thing that we were all panicking about, and every business in the world had to go through, because I was there, a scramble to check every line of code to make sure that when it flipped over, it didn't break. Like, for people who were adults, that entire time period was awful. Because if you worked with anything with a computer, if you had anything that had a computer chip in it, you had to deal with everybody coming at you to check it. Is it going to work? What are you going to do? And then you had people who are like, my toaster has a computer chip in it, and it's not going to give me toast tomorrow. And like the conspiracy theories, all you kids were spared from that. A lot of you teens were spared from it. Those of us in the working corporations, 1999 was a terrible
But
year.
also, being of the age of understanding where it's like people were honestly like, not only was my toaster not going to make toast, it's going to explode in my house.
It's going to explode in my house.
My refrigerator is going to explode because it can't handle the change in the year. Planes are going to drop out of the sky because they can't handle the change in the year.
Also, there was it's going to lock up all my bank accounts, and I'll have no money.
I'll have no money.
I'll have no money. All my bank accounts will lock up, and since everything's on computers, it will drain them all. Like, there was a lot of fear-mongering around it, and some of it was true. Like, these things could have happened, but the amount of work that we had to do that year of trying to check literally every line of code that ever existed was awful. And then they decided to have another Woodstock. For reasons.
Well, but the thing about that, getting back to the source here, which we haven't even gotten to the real Pokemon of the week, is that the previous Woodstock, the 25th anniversary one, was really good. It was really
94?
good. Yeah.
It was a really good one.
It's like 5 years later, let's destroy the concept. Let's make like the worst experience possible. All right, here we go. This week's Pokemon. I may have gotten this wrong, so good luck if we get this correct or not.
The clue was actually us talking about Woodstock.
The Pokemon of the week is
Snoopy.
Pseudo-Wood.
Did you know Woodstock actually didn't even happen in Woodstock, New York? I've been to Woodstock, New York. Either way. In the Pokemon games that brought us such standout Pokemon like Geonotic and Steenie, there are also some Pokemon that are quickly and easily forgotten. This can get a bit tricky, so pay close attention. This week's Pokemon shares the first part of its name with the dubious celebrity that some have said was the inspiration for what comes third after it in the National Pokédex. You would remove the last letter from that celebrity's last name. The back half of its name is derived from one of its physical features. a feature that it shares with only one other Pokemon evolutionary line that was first introduced in this region. That is, unless you count sea creatures as potentially having the same. So easy. Oh, Greg, yes. That facial expression says it all.
You are going to need to write all that stuff in that channel.
Copy and paste. Copy
and paste Monday, and I'm going to remind you because I blanked out halfway through it.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end. If you did make it to the end, this comes out on August 16th. Our Patreon special offer for a exclusive T-shirt ends at the end of day, August 18th. So if you would like to get one of those T-shirts, patreon.com/PKMNcast or just ise.cash. You can sign up. Once the special offer closes, I'll gather shirt sizes and addresses, and then those will probably be sent beginning to mid of September because they have to be made. I have not told the printing how many shirts I need or what sizes I need, so I'm going to do that locally to support a local business, and obviously there's a little bit more control when the place is down the street and not in China or wherever shirts are made at this point. I don't know.
Everywhere.
So if you want to sign up for that, otherwise, if you sign up for a Patreon at the $5 level, you get ad-free episodes, you get bonus episodes, you get more ISC, and you support the show. So if you did sign up for the Patreon, thank you so much. It really, really means a lot. If you want to find Will on Twitter, it is at Watching the Sink. Greg is at White Wing. I am at Dragging a Lake. Otherwise, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that stuff. PKMNcast, and also like 99% chance that if we had a promo code for something, it is also PKMNcast. So thank you for listening. We will see y'all next week. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super Snoopy forever.
He was from the Twin Cities.
Yeah, I know. There used to be Snoopy saying.